Time for the deep dive.
Yeah.
We're taking a deep dive into the Chiefs and Colts. We'll start with the Chiefs offense, Patrick Mahomes, and it was something that you noted in your watching a game film of this and how the Colts did it, and he mentioned it too, how the Lions went man-to-man.
Right.
You before the game, you didn't think that necessarily the Colts had the personnel to be able to pull it off.
No.
They dinged up in the secondary. The Colts have been.
And they're not a man-to-man team. They don't really like to play man-to-man. So I did not know if they would venture down that road to match up.
So let's get into it.
Yeah.
So what'd you see? They were able to do it and do it effectively.
Yeah, do it effectively. Listen, I mean, it's easier to play to man-to-man when you don't have to worry about Tyreek Hill, and then you find out in the first drive that Sammy Watkins has got a pulled hamstring, and then you all of a sudden your corners go, oh, yeah, we'll get up there and play man-to-man.
If Sammy plays, do you think they could do the same thing?
I think they could have. I don't think they would have dabbled in it quite as much. I think we would have saw a little more zone because they would have been like, there's only so many times we can leave a guy man-to-man and a Sammy Watkins. Disappointed in the Chiefs altogether, though, okay? Really am. Second week in a row, team played them man-to-man. Shocked they didn't have more man-to-man beaters in the game plan. In fact, saw a lot of carryover plays that from what I saw last week. You know, if I had to boil it down to these main things, Ahmed, that really jumped out to me. One-dimensional, right? You don't even have to worry. There's no point in defending the run game when you play the Chiefs. They won't run it. It doesn't matter. Just play the pass. They just call their bluff. They will not run the ball. So that's not going to play good, okay? They can't pass protect right now because of some of the injuries they have on the offensive line. Cam Irving at left tackle is an issue, okay? They're predictable as well within their pass offense. I see repeat concepts. I can sit here because I watch them on film every week and really kind of give you a feel for, oh, they're in this formation. I can sit here and tell you 2 or 3 things they're going to do out of some of these formations in the pass game. And then, of course, the injuries we talk about when you don't have a Tyreek Hill and a Sammy Watkins.
Right.
Everybody out there, I mean, hey, if you want to evaluate a team, the first thing you always do is, where's the money on the team? And is it performing? And they got big money in Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins. I mean, Sammy Watkins is being paid like he's one of the 5 best receivers in football.
Yeah.
Now, he's not. But he's not out there. And then Tyreek Hill is being paid like that as well. And, of course, he's injured.
It hurts.
Their team is predicated on their offense putting pressure on the opposing team by getting out early, making it a shootout. They play from a position of power. When that doesn't happen, there's some issues.
When they don't have them, and you say they're predictable, does that make them more predictable? Are they more predictable now than they have been the few weeks of the season?
I can't say that they are. There's a few specialized plays always for a Tyreek Hill when he's in the game plan, so I guess that gives you the curveball. Yeah. But no, this is where I have gotten into the conversation in some prior podcasts of this where they're a little bit more, it's about the players than the plays type of offense. And the offense is good, but it's not, like I said, I'm not going to put it in the McVay, Shanahan, McDaniel, Sean Payton category because it is a little more about, hey, you need to make a great throw, or Kelsey, you got to work the middle of the field and get open, or Tyreek, if they play you man, you got to beat them, and then this guy will make the right throw.
Sure.
Where, you know, hey, you watch the Saints, the Patriots, some of them, I mean, they get a few throws every game, Brady, Breeze, whatever, where, I mean, it just doesn't matter. The first guy they look at, it's open, and it's, oh, bam, he's wide open. Oh, bam, he's wide open again. Bam, he's wide open. And that just doesn't happen within the normal rhythm of their offense.
How much of it was Justin Houston, who played 8 years in Kansas City, first year with the Colts? Revenge game for him. How much of it was him just knowing what the Chiefs were going to do?
I mean, I think if we got into that 4th down call, right? I remember at the end when the Chiefs are running that 4th down play, and he makes the tackle from the backside play. You know, that would have been a one where I might have thought about where he's lined up if you're over there on the sidelines figuring out what you're going to do on the 4th down, because there's 2 things. One, he knows players on their team. 2, you got to be cognizant that when he's lining up, he can hear what the offensive line's saying to each other, right? Sure. An offensive line, you can have a play call, and there's certain calls the offensive line has to make to block it the proper way. And, you know, you just got to be careful in those situations because he might hear. He's been against these guys his whole career. He knows all these calls.
You don't think they change him up?
I know they usually don't for these type of things. So if they had a dual call or a pulling guard call or all these things that the offensive linemen say, if he kind of recognized one of them, that could have gave him the jump. Ultimately, I think Cam Irving also messed up on how he blocked the play on the backside, but Justin Houston was really good. And those guys took turns beating the crap out of Cam Irving on the left side more times than not. He's an issue at left tackle right now for the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, I want to point out Kamoko Toure who got hurt at the end of the game.
Poor
right?
Komoko,
a lot of people are going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But I think he played really well.
Phenomenal.
He's a second-year guy out of Rutgers. He's a New Jersey guy.
I know. I thought he was a first-round talent 2 years ago coming out in the draft. He
didn't start playing football until high school.
He's a freak.
He got 3 quarterback hits, playing in 54% of the snaps. It was the most snaps he's played.
Yeah, because he's been battling some injuries early on in the year, too. So he's just getting back out there healthy. A shame to see that.
I'm going to give him a damn okay, even though he's done for the year.
Yeah, I know. Good. You should. Damn okay, Komoko Ture. You the man. I mean, we'll be waiting for you next year. But, yeah, he has shown enough talent in his first 2 years that he's one of those guys where he's going to pop up from at some point down the line again, and we're going to go, damn, this guy's one of the better pass rushers in all of football. Sure, he's got that kind of talent.
How much do you think the ankle injury limited what Patrick Mahomes could do? Because, I mean, early in the second quarter, I don't know how often, because he's been gimpy since last week in Detroit.
Yeah.
He's had the injury. It might have been re-aggravated later in the game, but he was making some plays that 3rd and 18 in the second quarter where he threw that touchdown to
that was the last play.
Byron Pringle.
They played zone coverage.
That was it. That ended the zone coverage.
That was it because, they were kind of like splitting it between man and zone early on, but his movement and extending plays in the pocket against zone. I mean, just think about it. Being a zone linebacker. Oh, this is my area. Oh, wait, he's over here now. Mahomes is running there. Oh, Mahomes is running there. And then you leave areas, and, of course, then there's big, gaps in your zone coverage. And then we know Mahomes is awesome at throwing lasers into those gaps and manipulating with his eyes and everything else like that. That was it. After that play, they said, you zone coverage, let's go to man-to-man, and let's not let him do that to us anymore.
I was looking at an overhead of it, and they had 3 guys on Demarcus Robinson at the end of that play.
Oh, I don't know. They just went with him. They like the defenders all went to the sideline, and the receiver there kind of stopped in the middle and kind of just came back. And Mahomes, I mean, come on, the scramble, everything about it. To answer your question with the ankle and all that, it affected him. I don't think it was like a game changer. I think ultimately the game changer was, the Chiefs' inability to separate, the Chiefs' inability to have more man-to-man beaters. The second week in a row, there's got to be more pick plays for the receivers, the tight ends, the backs out of the backfield. Running game is a great way to stop defenses from playing man-to-man because you can do misdirection stuff. You see those running plays sometimes where, okay, just think about it. If you're the quarterback, the tight end's to your right, and, they hand the ball to the right and the tight end goes behind the line of scrimmage and kicks out the backside end, right, or something like that. Well, if you're playing man-to-man every snap, okay, that guy over there might be responsible for the C or D gap, and now you send the tight end across. He's running over there because he's going, I'm in man-to-man. He might go out in a pass. I got to go. And all of a sudden there's a void in that hole because that guy that was supposed to take that D gap, he fouled Travis Kelce behind. There's a lot of different things you can do. The man-to-man, you cannot let teams continue to play that. I'm just disappointed that Andy Reid and company didn't have more rubs, picks, shallow crossers, things like that to take advantage of it. And the run game, like I said, there's a lot of different ways to stress defenses out who want to play man-to-man like that.
You know what I think we have to do?
Yeah.
We have to put Andy Reid on notice. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. Like, put them on notice. Well, they need to step up their game.
Well,
that's a big thing.
I mean, yes. I mean, I am saying that because I really like Andy Reid and think he's awesome. And
I don't do that lightly. Like, I don't like just put willy-nilly people on notice.
No, well, because he's a legend. He's a legend.
And I love him.
Yes.
And I love what he said before the game to Liam McHugh, too, when Liam was trying to get him to talk just generically about Patrick Mahomes and what strides has he made this year. I love him. He goes, I don't know yet. It's like so often you go,
he's pretty creative.
Understanding the defenses a little better. You just kind of give us what we want.
Right.
I love Andy Reid, but he's on notice.
Yeah. No. I mean, I think at the ultimately big picture wise, I mean, if Kansas City wants to beat New England, this is where they're going to have to improve because I mean, New England's going to play them man to man. There's no way around that, and if they don't have a different way to attack in general, this will be an issue. Now, when Tyreek Hill back and Sammy Watkins, most defenses in football will not be able to play them man-to-man, but New England's not going to give a shit, and they will play them man-to-man like they did in the AFC Championship game and take some chances. And I think if we're just looking at big-picture Super Bowl conversation, it's definitely something the Chiefs got to work on.
We good?
With that one? I think so. I think we hit it all.
That one's good.
I don't think there's anything else.
This is not the actual.
Yep, it's right here.
Okay, so let's go Colts O, Chiefs D.
Yeah.
And let's start with the Colts offense because they basically just ran it down the Chiefs' throat.
Pretty much.
Marlon Mack was very effective between the tackles, just specifically between the tackles.
Yep.
20 carries, 100 yards.
Yep.
Another 32 yards on outside rushes. Had the second most rushing yards of any running back in football this week behind Christian McCaffrey.
And even just so you know, those outside rushes you're talking about, they were designed to go inside. And he bounced it.
Interesting.
And that's what they did. Their theme of the day would be a play like we would call in the NFL ride 34 double or ride 35 double. Basically double block, double team the two defensive tackles inside. Why? One, because really the only disruptor or game changer on the Chiefs defense is Chris Jones, who ultimately got hurt, and that hurt them. But they were going to keep two people on him to not let him ruin the play and put them in 2nd and 14 because he busted through one-on-one in the run game and then tackles Marlon Mack that way. So that's why you saw Marlon Mack, and I'm going to stand up for a second, one of you two jabronis, all right?
This is my favorite part of the podcast.
But when you see Marlon Mack, and I'm going to get a football too so I can pretend I'm a running back. But did you hear Collinsworth last night? He's like, hey, he kind of looks like he's running like Le'Veon Bell right now. Well, because that's what those plays are. They double team the defensive tackles, right? And really there was double teams along the board as far as the offensive line on the defensive line. And so Marlon Mack can get the ball, and he kind of can do this because he's just waiting for the linebackers to commit. Sure. And if they commit one way, okay, I'm going to hit that hole. The ones you talked about him bouncing outside, they kind of hit the gaps in the inside, and he just went, boom, I'm going to try to beat out the outside edge and make some moves like that. If Marlon Mack, that's it for that. If Marlon Mack doesn't have a hurt ankle, I would bet you he has even more rushing yards in this football game in general.
So you said Colts just I think you said something moving Chiefs up front. They were dominating, mauling them up front.
Where are you at? Let me
top
see.
Line here.
Oh, yeah. I just said yes. They're just mashing the Chiefs up front
so
early on.
Let's give some credit to the Colts offensive line, right? Because you got number 56, you got Quentin Nelson, who's out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, stud. Best guard in football. Maybe the best offensive lineman in football.
You think he's in that conversation already, first year?
I think he's a second-year guy, but I thought he was the best guard in football last year. It's okay.
Last year, you're right.
Don't worry. You can't know everything.
Yeah.
It's my job.
That's true, yeah.
But yes,
the fact check.
He's phenomenal.
Good.
Costanzo, phenomenal. Kelly at center, phenomenal.
Nelson, I did have a note here. He's played every single offensive snap for the Colts in his career. All 16 last year.
I believe
every snap this year so far.
He's like a slab of granite.
Yeah.
I mean, if you ever saw him in person, you'd be like, oh my gosh, is he real? He's just like a big block with a huge head on his body. I mean, it's just he's a specimen as far as what an offensive line looks like.
Anthony Costanzo too.
Yep.
Eighth-year guy. You like
studs?
Him?
Oh, yes. I mean, I like everybody. Braden Smith at right tackle, a second-year kid out of Auburn. He's really good. Glowinski is the weak link, and he's still a good guard. I mean, that's how special they are up front.
Right.
They did the right thing in this game. They weren't sure. What do you do to stop a great offense? You make them sit on the sidelines.
Sure.
And get them out of rhythm that way. And then they start to feel the pressure. Oh, gosh, we got to get first downs. We got to move the ball. We might not be out of here. We might not be out here again for a while. And I think all of that was the brilliance there goes to Frank Reich for staying patient with the run game, realizing that he had a clear advantage up front in that capacity as far as his offensive line and playing to that. They kind of didn't do that in the playoffs last year. I think they were kind of like, oh, we got Andrew Luck, and we might be able to get in the shootout with you. We're not scared. Yeah. This time around, they said, no, let's not risk that. Let's just play to our strength and win this football game. And I thought that was the proper approach.
And I'm a huge fan of game theory. I love game theory.
Yeah.
And when you punt, when you go for it.
Yeah.
I think Frank Reich and the Colts really have it figured out, and they do it just about as well as anyone else in the NFL. So you saw early in the fourth quarter, they had a couple of those 4th down and 1s. And on the broadcast, we were talking about it, and Chris Collinsworth said, we showed the graphic of expected win probability if you go for it. So they had it, and it was 4th and 1, and if the current chance of winning was 51%. And it was like if they went for it and got it, they'd have a 64% chance of winning. if they instead just kicked a field goal where they were.
Went to the 47, right?
I remember. It went down because you give the ball back to the Colts with more time.
Yeah, and they're down. They're only down by less than a touchdown. So yes, right.
They went for 4th and 1 twice early in the fourth quarter, ate up about 7 minutes, still ended up with a field goal.
Yes.
But the game theory-wise, they're like, we're not going to give the ball back to the Chiefs. We can run it. Let's just keep running.
Exactly right. Let's play to our strengths. The best thing on our football team is our O-line. So why not, if you're going to go down with your best aspect. And that's what they did. They said, okay, yep, we feel best about our whole football team, about our O-line. And in these situations, they did that. That was phenomenal. And, you know, you talk about the ball control. Hey, forget the first half. The second half was embarrassing. I mean, it was like 22 minutes and 41 seconds to 7 minutes and 19 seconds of possession. Yeah, in the second half.
Wow.
So, it's hard. I don't give a damn if you're Patrick Mahomes, Johnny Unitas, whoever you are. When you're on the sideline that much, you are going to be out of rhythm as far as an offense in general. And that's really the beauty of what they did. And he stayed so patient with the run game. There was even a few times where they got in some second long situations. He got in shotgun, and they ran the ball. And it's 3rd and 2. And they were in manageable situations to convert some of those third downs. I thought that was brilliant, even on some of their shotgun passes, because, hey, Chris Jones and Frank Clark can be a pain in the ass in the pass game. They did shotgun play action just to slow them down a little bit.
Yeah.
But really, I thought it was a brilliant game plan altogether. Brissett, other than the interception, really played just a solid, clean game. Didn't really make any mistakes other than that interception the whole game. And this is what the Colts, I think, can be going forward, especially as T.Y. Hilton continues to get healthier and healthier. It's a dangerous combination with that run game, play-action pass, and Brissett can throw the ball down the field. This is a big win for them.
Not really a recipe for other teams watching on how to beat the Chiefs because not everyone has the offensive line or the
you're exactly right.
The Colts have.
Right,
so.
right.
And real quick, Chiefs defense, you made a note here. Who can make a play on this defense?
One of my issues with the game, they were not going to let Chris Jones ruin the game, like I said. And that you could tell that was especially early on, they either double-teamed him or ran away from him. But because he's the only guy. He's the only guy that can disrupt right now, make plays. I have issues with their defensive front seven. They have a lot of guys that just can't get off blocks. It's just you're looking at plays, you're going, damn, that guard's still on the defensive tackle. They're 7 yards down the field, and he's still not off the guy. He can't get off him. And I don't want to, like Frank Clark, people I think are saying, oh, he would have bust. We got him for this, the trade, and we gave him all this money. No, he's really good. He pops on film. But when you're running the ball up the middle all game long and having to do that, defense ends aren't going to always be known or get a chance to make a lot of plays that way. He was around the quarterback a bunch too. Just couldn't quite get home. Brissett is sneaky mobile in the pocket. He's so big and fearless. He really does a great job of sliding and even can run for a first down when he needs to.
Colts 3-2. They might have been 3-2 with Andrew Luck, a healthy Andrew Luck, too.
I think that's fair to say. There's no doubt about it. I think we hit it all there.
Crumpled it already.
No, you're good. I think we hit it all. I don't think there was anything else to talk about. I will say this. This is one good thing for the Chiefs coming back. No, you don't need to read it. Is Morris Claiborne, I do think, is going to help them when he gets in the lineup, too. Just another legit cover guy on the back end that'll allow them to be a little bit more creative in general on defense.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.